Hey y'all, how's it going? I am Joy, that is Steve, and welcome to the NFL Predictions Versus for Week 16 already. So, last week
Yeah.
was kind of a bit of a mixed bag. We had one person go 13-3, and another person went 6-10, and then people were scattered in between. It was definitely a strange week. I came up as a big loss in my split with John. I went 4-1 in my splits, so yeah, that's not helping me this week. But here are our standings. We have John back in first place, firmly by himself, with 148.76. I have 144.80. Mr. Agron is only 2 behind me at 142.82, with Steve 2 behind him at 140.84. Troll has 128.96. And then SDS and Buff are tied again at 122.102. And Dino got his pick wrong, regrettably for him, I'm sure, because he did have the Seahawks and then changed it over to the Eagles pick. So he is now 10-6 on the season. What a bird.
Dino.
What a bird. Okay, so where do you want to start then? We don't really have a huge disappointment, I guess, unless we want to cover the Chargers getting absolutely obliterated.
Yeah, not much to talk. The Raiders 63-point outburst cost the Chargers coach and GM their jobs there.
Which, honestly, it was a long time coming, so in a strange way, by proxy, you're welcome, Chargers, because the Lions got Josh McDaniels fired after a blowout, and now the Raiders just kind of passed that gift along. 'Tis the season, after all. So, you're welcome.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. Merry Christmas, Chargers. Congratulations. For finally doing the right thing. So that was definitely, it was a disappointing game, but all in all, it worked out pretty well. So why don't we just go ahead and start off with you, and you can cover whichever one of our 3 sections you think should be done first.
Okay. I'm going to start with the game of the week, and I'm sure you're going to be in agreement with me. It has to be the end of the Chicago Bears Cleveland Browns there. I mean the Bears almost winning it there. They had the winning Hail Mary touchdown on their fingertips, and then they
Literally
got
kicked it
intercepted.
away. Yeah. That's not the first time that they've literally kicked a win away, because they got a safety with Detroit because their offensive lineman kicked the ball out of the end zone. So, they just have a penchant for kicking things when they shouldn't. But yeah, it was definitely a good game. For me, I'm either, for game of the week, leaning toward the Texans-Titans game, because that rivalry is historic, of course, but coming down to the final seconds of overtime and having that kicker drain the field goal was absolutely magical. And it's either going to be that one or the Seahawks upsetting the Eagles, which I'm a little bit mad that I didn't go with personally, because I knew better. All of the logic was pointing towards taking Seattle, and I just I blew that one. I should have had that. I didn't.
All right. And now for my regret of the week there, I'm going to say not trusting the Lions at home against the Broncos there.
Oh, God, yeah, that one. Here's the thing. I do, in a small way, regret not going with Detroit as well. But at the same time, my strategy worked. So I'm not, like, totally regretting that. I think my honest regret is going to be taking the Giants over the Saints. I trusted the Giants on the road when I shouldn't have. And then, of course, that happened to be the game that Derek Carr decided to actually show up and play well, because of course he did. So, yeah, that was definitely my regret, because most of them I would have done again. In hindsight, I would have taken the Lions to lose again for the strategy. I would have still gone with the
Yeah.
Chargers because my logic was sound at the time. So I would have died on that hill again. But the Giants
Mm-hmm.
game, I would have gone differently.
Yeah.
So what about the
Sure.
shock? Because I think for me, my shock is gonna be the Falcons and Panthers game. They
Yeah.
we once
That
again,
makes sense
yeah, we once again have seen a
there.
team win without scoring any touchdowns, and it's honestly upsetting.
Yeah. But my shock, it's going to have to be the Bucks going into Lambeau there and being Jordan Love and the Packers there.
Yeah, I will say that was an amazing performance that Baker Mayfield had in Lambeau. He actually broke records. Perfect QB rating in Lambeau as an opposing QB. It was really, really well done.
Mm-hmm.
They played well on all sides, to be fair. So I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Yeah.
As a FTP fan, I I appreciated
Mm-hmm.
what Tampa did there. So that was fun.
Okay.
And with that, that is all three of our sections. So we can go on over to the mess that is going to be week 16. I am sure of it.
True. A lot of parts in this week's schedule there.
Yeah, there are. Week 16, we start off on Thursday night if you are ready to go.
Ready to go then?
All right, we have the Saints and the Rams.
Yeah. Obviously, as you discussed, Derek Carr finally showed up and win a game there.
Yeah, good on you. You picked a horrible time to do it for me, but a really good time to start trying to get hot for their own sake because they are trying to actually win that dumpster fire of a division.
Yeah, the NFC South there.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, with the Rams there, they're fighting for one of those wild card spots there.
Yeah, honestly, they have so much good
Well,
momentum going forward. I would be
yeah,
a little surprised if they don't get in.
yeah. But I imagine both teams are going to come out guns a blazing there on Thursday night there.
Yeah.
It could be shockingly, it could be a good game to watch there.
For a change, because usually Thursday night games are just not. They're just not entertaining.
Yeah.
So this
Exactly.
definitely could be an interesting one. As thinking, especially this late in the season, both teams
True.
are vying for positioning at this point, and it's going to be either the Saints trying to win out and take their division, or the Rams trying to win 2 of the last 3 and get into the wild card of the playoffs.
True. But for me there, I'm going to take the Rams at home there to beat the Saints.
Yep, I 100% agree with you on this one. I think coming out guns a-blazing, I'm going to trust Matthew Stafford's guns more than Derek Carr's guns.
Mm-hmm.
And now, last time I dissed Derek Carr, he came out firing. So we'll see if my jinx works again. But yeah, I'm taking the Rams.
Okay. Obviously.
Yeah. All right, so now we move on over to what normally would be a really good game, but all things considered, I'm not so sure about this one. We have an AFC North matchup when the Steelers host the Bengals.
Yeah. Obviously, for the Bengals, they're banged up. There, they recently lost Jamar Chase for a couple of weeks there. The
Yeah,
injury
they
there.
did. Yeah, they really did. That is the worst time to have your stud go down. Especially because you have a rivalry matchup coming up against a fairly decent Steelers defense. I mean, they still have Watt, so they can still get the pressure that they need.
Yeah, true. And for the Steelers, they're going to probably be starting Mason Rudolph at quarterback there.
That is what I heard, which makes me very happy. I didn't hear about that until after I'd already made my picks, so unfortunately, Mason finally playing didn't factor into my decision.
Sure. Yeah. But I imagine we'll be in agreement there and both take the Steelers at home.
No. No, we're not, actually. I'm riding the Browning bandwagon. I really like the kid. I think he's got good attitude, and I'm trusting that offense and that defense over Pittsburgh's offense.
I'm worried about Browning there having TJ Watt in his face there.
Lucky guy. But anyway, I would be a little concerned about that. I don't know how well the offensive line is going to show up for that, and if you don't have Chase being able to get open, I think that's going to be a problem. But I do think that they should still have enough offensive weapons to get by. And honestly, I kind of anticipate a bit of a shootout, and I just think that the Bengals defense can hold the lackluster offense of Pittsburgh down.
Okay.
Now, if I'm wrong, then good for Mason, and I'm happy. But also, I don't know, I can't trust him.
Okay.
Alright, next up, there's no way we're splitting on this one. We have the Bills and the Chargers.
Yeah. And if you're looking for this game in the States there on Saturday night there, it's going to be on the Peacock Network there.
Ah, yes,
but
it is
Canada there, we'll probably get it live and free there.
Canada has it so good compared to what we do. Honestly, y'all are the bomb. Y'all are the bomb diggity, and I'm a little bit jealous.
Yeah, it's the same way with all the Amazon games there. We get all the NFL games free on the regular network there.
Yeah, see, and that is so weird because like it's our league. You know, it's American football. It's our league, but we're charging us to watch it, but y'all get it for free. It's just it blows my mind sometimes the way that systems work, but you know, America.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Bills and Chargers.
Yeah, obviously the Chargers are free falling there because of you know, they have no Herbert, and now their coaches are pretty much bit the dust there.
Yeah.
And obviously they're going to get ready for 2024 there.
Oh, 100% they are.
Yeah.
I don't know what exactly they're going to do in 2024, but
yeah,
it's got to be better than this.
The rumors are that they might hire Belichick to coach the team there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, honestly. I did hear a rumor as well, speaking of Belichick, that New Orleans was looking at him. They were going to offer him input from like a GM perspective as well as coaching with front office positioning after the fact. So if I'm him, I take that option if it's actually on the table because it's a much weaker division and run roughshod just like you did with New England when that was a weak division. So history can always just repeat itself. But the Chargers are a very talented team. They just don't have good leadership, and I think in the future they'll be all right. It's just a really tough division to kind of be faltering in a little bit. And then on the Bills side, they finally learned how to have a run game. It took forever, but they finally learned how to use it.
Yeah, against the Cowboys out of all teams there. That is amazing job there.
Yeah.
And hats off to Josh Allen, obviously.
Yeah, well, yeah, the coaching staff knew exactly how to play around Dallas's defense, and the problem was that they were on the road. Dallas is just not good on the road. And especially when you're going into Buffalo with a fairly good Bills team, it just was not going to work at all. So, no. That was another regret that I had, because I should have paid more attention to the road game records and kind of leaned toward home on that one, but c'est la vie.
Yeah. So obviously we're both going to be in agreement that take the Bills to the Chargers for more against the Chargers there.
Yeah.
Maybe less.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna like destroy them quite as bad as the Raiders did, because they didn't really have the same motivation to do so. But yeah, they are 100% winning this game, and if they somehow find a way to lose this one, it will be the upset of the week, 100%.
Mhm.
All right, next
Exactly.
we have the Colts and the Falcons to see if they can actually score more than 7 points this week.
True. Yeah. I don't know what's wrong with the Falcons there. I
Coaching?
mean, they could start Desmond Ritter or yeah.
It's coaching.
Apologies to yeah. So, obviously, he might be on the hot seat after this season there.
Honestly, I think he should be. Like, there were all these like
Mhm.
jokes about, how is Arthur Smith still employed? And it's like I
Mhm.
honestly don't know. I really don't. But
Mhm.
we'll see what happens in our Black Monday predictions video at the end of the season.
True. Yeah. And obviously, the Colts there, Gardner Minshew is doing an adequate job there, trying to keep them alive in the AFC South there.
Yeah, I hate to admit it, but he's actually doing a pretty darn good job managing the game for him. The
Yeah.
run game definitely helps. Their defense has been pretty, adequate. They're not lights out
Yeah.
by no means, but they're good. They're a very
Mm-hmm.
average and well-rounded team. Which, when you're going against a team like Atlanta, who is kind of not, one would tend to think that the Colts have the advantage, even though they are on the road.
But for me, I'm going to take the Colts on the road to beat the Falcons there.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going with the Colts as well. Atlanta's my bane for a reason, and maybe if I don't go with them, they can win
Mm-hmm.
and make the South even more interesting. That's kind of my hope and my logic on that.
Yeah.
All right, so now we have the Seahawks and Titans for our next matchup.
True. I don't obviously both of us weren't able to watch the Monday nighter where the Seahawks squeaked out that win against the Eagles there.
Yeah, I think I caught like the very tail end of it when they were like showing Jalen Hurts being mad, but I didn't like get to watch the actual game. I got most of it from John,
Yeah.
Live texting me during the game, like, "Oh my
Yeah.
god, we did it!" And I'm like, "Oh my god, no way!" So that was fun. That was kind of basically how I spent my night.
Yeah. And I had a power outage here on Monday night there, and I just went to bed early and didn't catch the result till Tuesday afternoon there.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I was
And
like,
also,
what?
yeah, wait, what? They actually pulled it off? Yeah. What happened was Drew
Yeah.
Lock had a 92-yard game-winning drive. Now, do you happen to know why that was able to happen and what Philadelphia did?
Nope.
They made, get this, you're gonna love this one. They made Matt Patricia the defensive coordinator. They ruined their big mistake. They ruined their season because they thought that a guy who plays cover one man coverage every single play and doesn't blitz or disguise his schemes or mix things up any was the right decision to lead this defense, who was already struggling before we got here. And Drew Lock appreciation post, the kid did really, really well.
Yeah.
I really liked that. His post-game interview was awesome. His game-winning drive was awesome. His attitude is awesome. I kind of like the kid.
Yeah. And obviously, with the Titans there, they blew a close one against the Texans there.
Yeah, I mean, they were just doing their best Oilers impression.
Yeah. I don't know what's happening with King Henry there.
I think, honestly, he might be leaning towards retirement, which I
Yeah.
don't like the idea of, but I have a funny feeling that's kind of where his mindset might be heading, based on a few interviews and
Yeah.
sound bites that he's had recently.
Yeah.
That's going to make me sad for multiple reasons, but you
Yeah.
know, I,
He,
I, I think that he deserves better than what he has right now, and unfortunately, I don't think he's ever going
well,
to
once
get
in
that.
your great. But but for me, there, I'm going to go with the Seahawks on the road to beat the Titans.
Yeah, this is more, I guess, kind of not really giving up on Tennessee, but I don't really have a whole lot of faith in Tennessee right now. And not only
Yeah.
that, but I want to see, after everything that I've been reading and watching and catching up on, I really want to see Drew Lock succeed. He deserves it. So I agree. I'm taking Seattle as well.
Hmm.
All right, now we're moving on to an NFC North matchup, very important for many teams and many reasons. Speaking of succeeding, we have the Lions visiting Minnesota.
Yeah. That, I don't. I think Minnesota is starting to choke there late in the season there. With
It
apologies to all our Viking fans out there.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like it, admittedly.
Mhm.
I think their defense is really good. And that's kind of, as a Lions fan, what's
Mhm.
concerning me coming into this game is that their defense is legitimately good.
Yeah.
The offense just isn't helping them any.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of QB issues with them.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't mind Nick Mullins, so we'll see what happens, but
Yeah. But obviously, when we go against the Lions, they come out guns a blazing and winning the game. Like
they do. They won big. They won 42-17 over Denver. So they heard all the
yeah,
talking and they came out at home, defended the den, and won
yeah,
Pride with honor. I was very, very happy to watch that game.
yeah. But for me, obviously, I'm going to go with the Lions on the road to beat the Vikings there.
Yeah, I agree with you on this one. I'm diverting from my strategy, but to be fair, I can't. I just think that Detroit is the better team, and it makes the most sense to go with
Mm-hmm.
them. And considering I went 4-1 in my splits last week, I can't be foolish and selfish. So I have to just go with who I think is actually
Mm-hmm.
better.
Hang on, check.
Next up, we have probably the dumpster fire of the week, which might be another
Mm-hmm.
category that we can talk about next year. We
Yeah.
have the Commanders and the Jets.
Ooh.
Yay.
Obviously, now we know that Aaron Rodgers won't be back this season there. So
Thank you for actually
just
listening to me,
compare.
you bum.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Yeah, because he finally admitted that he won't be coming back to his friend Pat McAfee there.
Lovely.
Yeah. Yeah. So hope here's hoping he gets better for 2024 there. So sorry. So sorry, Joy.
Nah, I'm not gonna wish any ill will, although lasting
Mm-hmm.
75 seconds was pretty funny, admittedly. And doing
Yeah.
that 2 years in a row would just be even more hilarious, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, I don't want him to like blow out the other Achilles or anything.
Sure.
That'd just be mean. Why would I ever wish that upon anybody?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
as far as the game goes, this is the 32nd ranked offense versus a 32nd ranked defense. So something's got to give here.
Yeah.
Honestly, something has to give. And I don't
Yeah.
know what it's going to be.
True.
I need to make this Washington
But
guy bigger.
but for me, there the one good jet they have right now is obviously Sauce Gardner there.
Yeah, I do kind of, in a way, feel bad for him because he's stuck in this kind of situation, but at the same time, you're supposed to
Yeah.
be trying to make them better. Well, then again, I
Yeah.
can't even say that because they have Garrett Wilson, who's a very decent wide receiver. Brees Hall's a good runner. So it's primarily, for me, I think, a coaching issue.
Yeah.
Just saying. It's
Yeah.
a coaching issue and a recruiting issue because they let Aaron Rodgers
Mm.
pick things from players to personnel that he wanted,
Yeah.
and it just kind of ruined them.
Obviously. But for me, they're this one's a no-brainer. I'm going to take the Jets at home to beat the Commanders.
I hope that Zach Wilson does not play and make me sad because I took Washington, actually.
And we have our second split.
We do. That's good, though. We're keeping them to even numbers.
Well,
I'm taking a bit of a risk with Washington, but I'm going to
mhm.
trust in Sam Howell. I don't like their coaching situation either,
Yeah.
but I'm trusting that offense more than the Jets' offense. And I just hope that this dumpster fire keep the score low so it doesn't get out of hand,
Yeah.
and everything will be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, Battle of the Peas. We have the Packers and the Panthers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How the Panthers won their game last week is beyond me. There.
Field goals and the lack of a defense from Atlanta.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. And winning it in the last second there.
Yep. Yeah, again, another last seconder. Unfortunately, this was not nearly as exciting as the Texans and Titans last seconder.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was watching the games go by, and I
Too
seen that
bad
they
they
were
didn't have
down.
the fans there to watch it there.
Yeah, I heard about that. They only had like 100 fans or something at the start, and it's like, yeah,
Well,
yeah, tickets are cheap. Nobody cares. This is like actually
yeah.
really, really sad.
Yeah. But for me, this one's a no-brainer. I'm going to take Love to rebound there, and Packers are going to probably slaughter the Panthers.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to agree with you on that one. I don't like it, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I have to agree with you on Green Bay. Because again,
Yeah.
I can't be spiteful when my season is literally on the line. So I have to be smart.
True. And, yeah, and obviously the Packers need this win there to stay pace in the hunt for the wild card spot.
Right, which again, that's part of the reason why I'm hating going with them because I want them to miss the playoffs again.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly kind of feel like it's not going to happen, and that makes me sad.
Yeah.
But we'll see how the rest of the year goes. But this one I think should be an easy dub.
Yeah.
Okay, next we have what is probably going to be a sleeper for game of the week with the Browns and the Texans.
Yeah. I was holding off making this pick because I just wanted to see the status of C.J. Stroud, and now I heard there he might be stuck in the concussion protocol for another
Yeah,
week there.
yeah. The fact that he's still in protocol is kind of scary, admittedly.
With the Browns, they have the feel good story with Joe Flacco at the helm there.
They really do. I really like the fact that Joe Flacco is actually performing well, all things considered, and that defense was absolutely amazing. Again, one of the best defenses in the league, so they could be a sleeper team to go far.
True. But for me, I'm going to go with my specialty with this game. It's going to be a 3-point or less there. I'm going to trust the Case team to pick up the slack. He'll help the Texans beat the Browns there.
Oh boy. We
Got another split?
Yeah, we do. I'm trusting the Browns defense over over them. My logic on that is it was a very close game between Houston and Tennessee is a much worse defense than the Browns are. And so I think that if you have a hard time with them, you're going to have a really hard time with Cleveland. And so that's kind of what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
Unfortunate, but we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. We might split on this one too, actually. This is a dangerous week. We have the Jaguars and the BUCS.
Yeah. Obviously, the same thing that happened with C.J. Stroud is happening with Trevor Lawrence stuck in the concussion protocol there.
Yeah. Honestly, so like, will he play? Won't he? Game time decisions. It's always up in the air. So
True.
I hate this time of year when you aren't sure who's actually going to be fielded as a team. So this is scary stuff.
Yeah, and if he can't go for the Jags, it looks like it might be C.J. Beathard there.
Yeah, which, I mean, I personally don't mind Beathard. I think that he had a fairly decent showing when he faced off with the Bengals a couple of weeks ago. So, you know, he did his job. He didn't exactly perform poorly. So that's encouraging. And they still have a decent run game. So we'll see.
The Baker Mayfield beat the Packers is beyond me there.
They just played really well. They have a well-rounded offense for a change. They finally kind of got their run game a little bit going. It's still not great. I think that was more of a testament to how bad the Packers' defense was. But at the same time, a win is a win. So, you know, they're kind of riding high, and they have a lot to win here if they do well. They're trying to get their division, so they kind of need all the wins they can get.
Yeah. So for me there, I'm going to trust C.J. Beathard there to pick up the slack there, and they'll win on the road against the BUCS there.
All right, cool, because I agree with you. I was afraid of that game. I know there's going to be some people who are taking the BUCS, and I'm hoping there's going to be some people that take Jacksonville because it'll be a lot more fun that way and kind of take a little bit of split game pressure off myself. So I'm really glad you agree with me.
Yeah.
Okay, next up is DINOS game this week. It is the Cardinals going to the Bears.
Yeah. And I don't know what the Toronto Bears are on there. They're just a dumpster fire right now.
They are pretty bad, but admittedly, let's give them a little bit of credit. They played fairly well in the first quarter against San Francisco. San Francisco being arguably the best team in the league right now. Arizona did not do horribly at the start, so they're not that bad. They scored 29 on one of the best defenses in the league, so that's not bad.
Yeah. And the Bears are shockingly improving there.
Yeah, the Bears, I don't want to believe it, but yeah, their defense is actually good. They did fairly well against Cleveland in Cleveland, putting up 17 on that defense.
Almost had to win.
They did. Oh man, that Hail Mary scared me so much.
Yeah.
Because they had it, you know.
But for me, there, I'm going to trust the Bears at home there to beat the Cardinals there.
Okay.
With apologies to you.
No, actually, hear me out. I agree with you.
Yeah.
As shocking as this is going to be to people, I'm taking the Bears at home.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
This is a
again.
First, ladies and
gentlemen. It is. I didn't want to do it. Just putting that out there, and still, frick the Bears till the day is long. But they're not actually a horrible team right now. Their defense is good, and I think that being at home should help them against a team from Arizona who's not quite used to the weather. And, you know, they don't have to worry about getting a high draft pick because Carolina has that covered. So they can actually play spoiler. And, you know, this is your job right now. It's to just be a thorn in people's side. And you are so good at doing that. So I'm trusting... Oh, God. I'm trusting them. And if they lose, this will be my regret. 100%.
It's a Christmas miracle.
I will apologize to myself the night after. And myself and I have a stern talking to go through after what I just did. Yeah. So
I think it's time to hear from our resident bird.
Yeah, it is.
Tired of trying to decide what your take. Did you just do what I think you did? You did. I would fall too if I chose the Bears. Why is this the week we're almost going to actually agree? Because I'm still debating. I'm actually thinking about taking the Bears. And you had to show me. And then turn your back in disgust. I understand. Fine.
All right, and so with that, I would like to kind of explain it a little bit. It took a very long time to get Dino to actually pick a team between these two, and I told him, look, they can't both lose. I know we don't like either team, and they both are pretty bad, but somebody has to win. And he went back and forth, picked up both cards multiple times, and he finally ended up taking the Bears card to win. So, he and I agree, and I don't like it. But there we go.
Oh, well.
Unfortunate. Alright, so now what I think might actually be one of the closest games this week, we have the Cowboys and the Dolphins.
Obviously, this is a game of the week for us there.
I'm still kind of thinking that the final game of the week will be the most important game. But this one has a lot at stake for playoff positioning and, quite frankly, Dallas's reputation.
Yeah, obviously, the Cowboys need a bounce back game after losing to the Bills.
They got shellacked by Buffalo. Let's just put it out there.
Jerry Jones blamed the weather there for their loss in Buffalo there.
But the weather was actually not bad for that game. A little bit of light rain, maybe? If I'm remembering correctly, it was a little bit of light rain, but it's not like you were playing in a blizzard. And, you know, well, like I told the Chiefs last week, welcome to the rest of the league. You can't always play in some, like, super fancy indoor stadium with a giant jumbotron to show fans what's going on, Mr. Jones. You have to travel. And your team can't travel.
Yeah. So, but they're going to be in better weather conditions this week in Miami there. So they'll have no excuse.
What if it's windy, though? What if there's wind? That's definitely going to cause some problems for the Cowboys, right?
But for me, that's going to be another one of my specialty 3-point or less games there, and I'm going to take the Cowboys on the road to upset the Dolphins.
Well, there it is. There's their other split. I was waiting for it. Yep, I took Miami because I want Dallas to prove that they can actually handle themselves on the road against a Dolphins team that is without their MVP, and
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I think that the run game is definitely going to come into play, considering that they couldn't stop James Cook. I don't know if they can stop the run game of Miami. So prove me wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, next up, speaking of proving people wrong, we have the Broncos and the Patriots.
Yeah. This is to all our fans there who probably want to stay up late at night there to while they're waiting for Santa Claus to come there.
Yep, indeed.
This should be a good game.
Yep, an early Christmas present.
In theory.
In theory.
In theory, there, because obviously, Patriots there are playing for next year, obviously, but they could end up being a little bit of a spoiler there.
Yeah, they could be a spoiler, and it wouldn't really surprise me if they wanted to kind of fall into that role and kind of ruin some things for Denver, who's trying to make a push to possibly take the division over, but also get themselves into the playoffs. After what happened last week, they definitely need to.
Yeah, obviously they're in the middle of the pack for the wild card spot there.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Question is, can Russell Wilson's offense there stabilize the team there to possibly be in the hunt there? And in my opinion, they might there. And I'm taking the Broncos at home to beat the Patriots.
Yeah, I think considering they're facing New England, they'll be fine. If they were facing like a more high-powered team or competent team, then they might be having more issues. But I think this one should go Denver's way fairly well, especially because they're at home.
Yeah.
Although kudos to Bailey Zappi for actually playing fairly decent, at least in the first half.
Yeah. Sure.
All right, next up we have the team that can't catch with the Chiefs hosting the Raiders.
Yeah, this is the first of our triple header on Christmas Day there.
Yep.
After you get done unwrapping your gifts there, you can sit in front of the TV and catch this game there.
You know, we actually might do that. I'm not entirely sure what the Christmas Day plans are outside of just cooking. So what's kind of funny to me is that this is like an exact replay of Thanksgiving, minus what teams are involved. Yeah. Because Dad and I did a cooking, football, and a Christmas movie for Thanksgiving. And looks like Christmas Day, we're going to do cooking, football, and a Christmas movie. So it's really fun. I do kind of like how we have these like new traditions being born. So as jank as the NFL schedule is, I'm actually kind of enjoying it because it's giving more time to chill, which we honestly need. I especially today need the chill. So to the game at hand.
Obviously, obviously with the Raiders, they coming off that huge win against the Chargers there, as we discussed earlier. But this is going to be a different animal they're going to take on there in the Chiefs there, Mahomes there.
Yeah,
this is a way better quarterback.
Yes, because he's actually played and Easton Sticks never has. So yeah, it's going to be a lot more difficult to face Mahomes, although the Chiefs have been struggling. And as somebody who loves the coach, love Andy Reid, likes the quarterback, likes the tight end, likes their running backs, it makes me sad that they're struggling this hard. And I picked them to be the AFC representation for the Super Bowl this year, and they are not helping me in that. So hopefully they can get their stuff together for the remaining 3 games of the season because their schedule's decent.
True. True. By the way, there, did you hear what happened in New England last week there?
No, I don't believe so. What happened?
There were, I seen on the news where some kids went to the Patriots game because they wanted to catch a glimpse of Taylor Swift in the press box there. And apparently she was.
Wow. We've done it. We've done it. We've reached the point where people are attending professional football games to catch a glimpse of celebrities that aren't even involved in the game. I am saddened beyond belief to see what my sport is turning into. It's, it reminds me of when wrestling went down the bad road and they started becoming more celebrity based. Drew Carey being in the Royal Rumble, Mr. T having a massive role, Hugh Jackman knocking out Dolph Ziggler for some reason. It reminds me of stuff like that. Having Snooki win at WrestleMania. It's just sad. It's just sad. I don't like it. I don't like when my sports is getting messed with, but that wonderful nugget of knowledge aside, what are we saying for the game?
Yeah.
Football.
Obviously, we're both going to take the Chiefs at home to beat the Raiders there.
Yes, we are. And let me just say one thing. John might know where I'm going with this. If the Chiefs somehow find a way to muck this game up, I might make that video that John and I talked about, where I do a tiny little satirical deep dive into the problems that Kansas City is having.
Yeah.
I don't want to, please don't make me do this. It won't be good for my channel, and I don't want to have to say things. Please just make sure that you win.
Yeah.
Thank you. Moving on to the NFC.
Shall we move on?
Yep, exactly. Moving on to the NFC East, we have the Giants going to the hopefully no longer Matt Patricia-led defense of the Philadelphia Eagles, although I hear tell it that Sirianni is going to stick with his decision of Matt Patricia at the coordinator's helm.
Oh.
I don't know why you would.
Yeah. Obviously, the Eagles need a bounce back game. They're obviously that their penalty against Jason Kelsey there, what some people said cost them their game against Seattle there.
I heard about that, but again, look, as someone who's a fan of a team who is constantly being cost games from the officiating, this is an uphill battle that you're never going to win. The officials can do whatever they want, come back the following day and say, my bad, and then get to work next week. So it's not like anything's going to happen. And maybe it was like a Chiefs situation and you were offsides. Denver was complaining about being offsides as well and having that call done, but you were offsides.
Yeah.
So, the NFL officiating crew is always very nitpicky. And I've said this before, but like, whenever you have an NFL game, like let's say it's Detroit and Green Bay, you as Detroit have 2 opponents in that game. You have the Packers that you need to plan for, and then you have the refs. And you have to determine how the refs are going to be. So, honestly, early on, push a few boundaries in the game. Maybe shove a little bit, hang on to a block a little bit too long, hike the ball but move a little, just to kind of see how the refs are going to play the game. Because if they're
Yeah.
more lenient to let things go, then you kind of know what kind of crew you're dealing with. But if they're going to call you immediately, you know that it's going to be strict, and you know that you have to, cross your T's and dot your I's.
Yeah. Face the criticism.
Exactly. So this is just the state of the game. You have to plan for both your opponent and officiating. Yeah. So I'm happy that other teams are now starting to see the same pain and learn how to deal with it. Now we're finally having a little bit of equality. But, it's just what you have to learn how to deal with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But for me, they're obviously this is a no-brainer. I'm going to take the Eagles at home to beat the Giants. So sorry to all the fans of Tommy DeVito.
I hope they lose. I really do. I hope that Philadelphia has one of those, Eagles breeding falls out of the sky. And I hope they lose. But I'm in agreement with you, unfortunately, and I'm taking Philadelphia because they can't get embarrassed twice in a row, right?
Exactly.
But I hope they do, and I hope that Tommy DeVito carves up Matt Patricia's defense.
Carve him up like a Christmas dinner.
Yep. Slice and dice like a Christmas ham.
Yeah.
And make him wish that he was never a coordinator. He could go back to being a rocket scientist where he's better placed anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so final game of the week, which I think is going to be the most important game of the week and the most fun to watch. Truly Christmas gift. When the Ravens go to San Francisco.
Yeah, this one it's my game of the week there.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, some people are going to say this is a Super Bowl preview.
Yep, indeed. I think it very well could be.
Yeah. The question is, can the Ravens defense handle Brock Purdy's offense there?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah, that's going to be a very good question. But also, conversely, can Bosa and Young and the crew on San Francisco contain Lamar Jackson? Both of these offenses are incredibly high-powered. Both of their defenses are very, very strong and very good. So I think that if San Francisco can contain Lamar Jackson and keep him in the box, I think they got this.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's just going to be a really fun game because, not having really any true vested interest outside of the fact that I have two guys on that team that I actually like, it's going to be really fun to watch.
Have them on your fantasy team.
I do have Brock Purdy on my fantasy team, but I sat him because I think that the Ravens defense is going to be too strong.
Okay, makes sense to me there.
Yep.
That one. This one's going to be another one of my special three-pointer less game, and I'm going to take the Niners at home to beat the Ravens.
Okay. I agree with you. And admittedly, it was because they're at home, and I'm allowing a little bit of bias for those two players on San Francisco to kind of dip into this thing and sway my decision. So surprisingly, we agree.
Okay, so we only have four splits this week there, thank goodness.
Yeah, thank goodness. It is an even number of splits. Now if we split the splits, everything's fine. Everything is totally fine. Okay. So, first up in our friends picks, now that Steve and I have done our debates on the games, We have
Okay.
Troll first, and this one is going to be a little bit different because I need a little help. So if you guys remember when John joined Steve and I had to have him read off the games, like the actual teams, and then I gave the reasons, that will be the exact same thing that Steve and I are going to do, or try to, for Trolls picks coming up. So, whenever you're ready, hit me.
I'm ready to go there. We'll start with the New Orleans Saints.
7 years ago.
Steelers.
Our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation.
Chargers.
Conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal.
Commanders.
Now we are engaged in a great civil war.
Vikings.
Testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure.
Texans.
We are met on a great battlefield of that war.
Panthers.
We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live.
Titans.
It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this.
Colts.
But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground.
Jags.
The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here have consecrated it.
Dolphins.
Far above our poor power to add or detract.
Cardinals.
The world will little note nor long remember what we say here.
Patriots.
But it can never forget what they did here.
Raiders.
It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced.
Giants.
It is for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion.
Ravens.
That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Amen. I love you, brother. I really do. And now, Agron's picks. Has the Rams over the Saints, saying the Rams are going to ball out. He has the Bengals over the Steelers. Mason Rudolph is going to be the starter. I don't know why that's a negative. I personally like the guy, but whatever. He has the Bills over the Chargers. Just because you fixed a problem with firing your coach doesn't make you good. He has the Jets over the Commanders, saying that this one is going to be ugly. He has the Lions over the Vikings because you gotta win the division. He took the Texans over the Browns because the AFC South is interesting. So why not make it even more interesting, I suppose, right? He took the Packers over the Panthers, saying that lightning is not going to strike twice.
Okay.
Seahawks over the Titans. This is the time of year where the Titans throw it all away. Colts over the Falcons because Michael Vick ruined the Falcons for me. Jaguars over the BUCS. How much magic does Mayfield have left? Cowboys over the Dolphins. Doubtful. The run game kills us. Bears over the Cardinals because bears eat birds. This is a fact. He apparently wants it because he took the Bears too, so he wants to die. Apparently. He went Broncos over Patriots, although he would die laughing if it was the other way around. He took the Chiefs over the Raiders, still trying to figure out just who the Chiefs are. Eagles over the Giants, but he's going to pick the Giants to beat them in 2 weeks. So we already know a pick. That's cool. And then Niners over the Ravens with an early Super Bowl match. So you right. People are picking that. Alright, then we have SDS picks. Rams, because Saints losses are good for the BUCS playoff chances. He went with the Bengals, because Browning is better than the weenie that got smacked with his own helmet. Again, all this hate on Mason Rudolph. He hasn't even had a chance to show that he's bad. Like,
Yeah.
this poor kid. Like, come on, he finally gets a chance.
Where's the love?
Yeah, where's the love? 'Tis the season to be jolly. Just be nice to the guy. God. Then he went with the Bills, saying something even more useless than Brandon Staley. A Peacock exclusive game. Now, I think, honestly, this is because the NFL wants to try to go streaming more often. And so this is kind of a test game to see if they can pull in the good numbers from streaming services.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can. He went with the Jets, saying that the Commanders' offense is way worse than the Jets' defense. He took the Lions. Congrats on winning the division. Now make sure that you don't play Matt Stafford in the playoffs. Part of me kind of wants to. Not gonna lie. I think the story writes itself. And it could be really fun. He went with the Browns, saying that the Bulls be angry and want that division crown, but Cleveland just says no. He took the Packers, saying that your defense can handle Bryce Young, right? He took the Seahawks, but he's afraid that King Henry has been dethroned. Watch him run for 100 yards and 2 TDs now that I say that. No, what's going to happen is he's going to run for over 100 yards, score 2 TDs on the ground, and throw another touchdown. He's known to throw TDs as well. So that's what'll happen. He took the Colts, saying Atlanta Pigeons eliminated. He went with the Jags. My 10-7 prediction is going to be... I don't know what that means, SDS. You're going to have to help me with that.
Yeah. The head scratcher.
Yeah. Booba Red? Fubard? Is this like a version of Fubbernucked that I don't know about? So explain what that is. He took the Dolphins because the Cowboys are 3-4 on the road and just got rocked by the Bills. He took the Cardinals, just saying Boomer Sooner. He took the Broncos, the ride never ends, even if some people would wish it did. He took the Raiders over the Chiefs, saying chaos please. And then he took the Eagles, saying that it went from wow to yikes in Philly real quick. And then he took the 49ers, saying McCaffrey for MVP.
There you go.
I mean, they got 2 MVP candidates on that team, but sure. Alright, and then we have John, who took the Rams. Would love the Saints to win, but Staff going to Detroit is just too big of a storyline. Exactly. He took the Bengals, saying that they got hot at the right time. He went with the Bills. He went with the Colts, saying that the Falcons are going to probably win this game because they are the kings of losing and winning games that they shouldn't. You right.
Yeah.
He took the Seahawks. Other than the Ravens, the 10 a.m. games have been kind. He went with the Lions. The only way we don't make the playoffs if we win out is the Vikings sweeping. So let's make sure that isn't a factor, okay?
Okay.
They'll try their best. He took the Jets, just saying that this is going to be a really fun game. He took the Packers, although imagine getting essentially eliminated, but not mathematically eliminated from the playoffs by the Panthers. That would be amazing. I want it to happen. He took the Texans, saying this being Keenum versus Flacco doesn't help, but frick it. Upset of the week.
Okay.
He took the Cardinals because letting the Cardinals win protects their pick. He went with the Dolphins. Both teams are not great against teams with a winning record. Defense is Dallas is on the road, where they are 3-4, and those W's are the Giants, Panthers, and Chargers. So, then he took the Broncos, Chiefs, and Eagles. And then he took the Niners, saying that they are the team to beat until further notice. And then finally, for our friends, we have Buff.
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh boy. I absolutely, first of all, Buff, I want to let you know how absolutely thrilled reading your picks this morning was. Especially the last one. It brought me so much joy. Just so you know. So, he took the Rams, saying, I prefer to see Hope build be crushed. He went with the Bengals, and the QB situation is going to be interesting here. He went with the Bills, saying, 63 points. Yikes. But there is also the we fired our coach, so now we know how to play football possibility. He went with the Jets, saying that the Jets' defense is better than the Commanders' defense, meaning they will likely win. He went with the Vikings. I prefer chaos with a side of hilarious, and in all actuality, the Lions are due. Okay. He went with the Browns, doing his standardized boo. I have to stick with it now. Even though they have Joe Flacco, he has to stick with it. He took the Packers, saying that the Panthers are worth 45 cents. He went with the Seahawks, saying, they beat the frauds. Exactly, keep the change, yeah. Here's a quarter, enjoy the game. And then he took the Colts because it seems plausible. He took the Jags because BUCS equals bad. He took the Dolphins, but two good teams are playing, so it could be either way. He went with the Cardinals, saying, well, it's still the Bears. Went with the Broncos, because it's still the Patriots. He took the Raiders as well. Did I mention chaos with a side of hilarious?
Yes, you did.
He went with the Eagles, but said they are bad. And then he took the 49ers, saying that Glock Purdy is ready to sling. Glock Purdy. Your nicknames from Dominator to Glock Purdy are just chef's kiss beautiful. I love them. Glock Purdy was the highlight of my morning. That sounds weird, but still, I'm sticking by it. Anyway, that is going to do it for week 16 of the NFL Predictions Versus. I had a lot of fun with this one. It was thoroughly enjoyable. It's going to be a chaotic week, but it is the season for chaos and the playoff push. So, any final words from you before we wrap this thing up?
Obviously, we have to wish all of our friends there and our many listeners there have a great Christmas this weekend.
Yep. Merry Christmas, happy holidays to all of you, and have a very joy-filled, festive time. Because I know I certainly am going to.
And obviously, as a favor to us, please hit the like, subscribe, and turn on notification bell for all our future videos.
Yep. If you do enjoy the content, I have a podcast of the verses up on YouTube Music as well. If you guys just want to listen to it there instead of watching the screen normally, you can.
Yeah.
Sub if you're interested. Next year, we're also going to open it up to more players being involved. So definitely feel free to hop on in on that as well. I would love to see more participants on this clipboard and see who knows football the best. Plus, it's just a really fun time to gather and get together and be united under this hate-filled league where we absolutely hate each other for a few months until we can go back to being friends again. So,
Exactly.
have a great day, guys,
Exactly.
and thanks for joining us along this ride. It's been one heck of a year, and cheers to January, right?
True. Thank you all, and hopefully we'll see you next week for our regular video.
Yep. Catch you guys next week for week 17 of the NFL predictions versus.